Hello everyone, and welcome to the first of the sessions, TuriyaTalks by Turiya Communications. I'd like to start by thanking Turiya and team, and especially the founder Sandhya, for having me here today. It is indeed an honor and a pleasure to be here. The topic for today is how can the travel and hospitality industry recover from COVID? Well, indeed, it is a very difficult question because I think, like many other non-essential industries, hospitality and travel is going to be, or already has largely been affected by this pandemic, and it is going to take a long time, no doubt. And I'm from this industry myself, and I've been in touch with a lot of industry colleagues, and everyone is suffering. Businesses are shutting down, and hotels are closed, and there's absolutely no sight of recovery. The lockdown has been extended until 17th of May, and there's a lot of uncertainty about how it's going to be after 17th of May. Well, it also popular research states that pandemics of this nature, like the Spanish flu, they come in phases, they come in waves, and this could just be the first wave, and there could be another wave, there could be the second wave, and there could be the third wave. So it could all just get worse, but I guess we should all be optimistic as well, and we should hope for the best and hope for the recovery of this bad situation that we're all in. I would like to, before I take questions, I would like to thank Sandhya and appreciate what a great initiative this is. I think that it's very important for us to have a dialogue today. It is very important for us to discuss and talk about issues that are, concerning the world, and things that we as colleagues can solve as being a part of the industry, being a part of this ecosystem, can address and maybe solve to a large extent. We can add our own solutions, our own innovative solutions to larger problems. And a really very good initiative, Sandhya. I'm really looking forward to more of these sessions and I'm sure that you're going to bring in a lot of really interesting people, and it's an honor that you've chosen me to be first of them. So yes, I'm happy to take questions from the audience on this particular topic of how the travel and hospitality industry can recover. I'm sure that all of you have some interesting questions that you're going to put forward, and I have to really think about the answers. So please go ahead. Could you please elaborate on how hotels will need to exercise duty and care policies after coronavirus? Yes, so I think that since it's a lifestyle business, it's also, as I said, a non-essential. Essential services and industries have to anyway do it, but non-essentials also have to. And I think that it's very important for hotels to put in place a lot of protocols and SOPs that they should follow at every level, at every touch point. Even if it's not a guest touch point, even at the back end, the administration, the employees, they have to have a multi-dimensional SOP that they have to put in place, from sanitization to check-in and check-out protocols. They have to put in practices and SOPs such that there's minimum human interaction. And I understand that hospitality is about service, is about human touch. Yes, we can all get back to human touch once the pandemic is over, but that doesn't mean that we should close doors to guests, because I think that a lot of very good hotels are present in fantastic destinations, and it should be about destination marketing and a little less about human interactions. And I think a great part of service is also how you handle situations like this. It also talks about how much you care about your guests if you're putting these SOPs in place. Things like no human check-ins and check-outs, things like giving them little cards, sanitized cards in their rooms that give them instructions about what they can do here and how they can operate the safe. How they can operate the air condition. trying to minimize interactions as much as possible. And I think all of these protocols have to be very strictly followed. And I think even employee back-end protocols, if somebody is unwell, for example, an employee calls in sick, and I think that has to be taken very seriously. And it has to be followed from both angles, not just from the management angle, but even the employees should not take advantage of this pandemic and just call in sick every other day. I think that they should be very careful about calling in sick when they're really sick, and they should stay home and recover and have proper checkups and health checkups, and only then come to the hotel and report to work. And the management has to be extremely careful to check each and every report and check the temperature before the said employee has come back after the sick leave. So all of these protocols have to be put in place. Let me give a little note on how hospitality companies and travel companies as well should change their policies, not just about SOPs, but also change their policies. I think that the biggest takeaway from this pandemic is that we, as a community, as a population, we're very uncaring of the environment around us. I think one of the major reasons why why pandemics like this happen is because of climate change, and we don't realize it, but even a small thing such as using a plastic bottle in the room, taking about 5 or 6 mineral water, or just throwing them, or just a straw when you're going to drink coconut water, or a straw when you're drinking Coke. Those things affect the planet very deeply, and I think that we don't think about these things. Brands don't think about these things very deeply, and I think we should. We should all become plastic free. As brands, as human beings, as consumers, we should say no to plastic. We should become plastic free. We should become sustainable in that we should have people from the community working with us instead of having people from other cities. We should train people from the community and have them work at our properties. We should have organic gardens inside our own properties, so that when such a thing happens, and I've seen this, a lot of properties in remote areas. I'll give you an example. The Tiger Mountain Pokhara Lodge in Nepal, they have their own organic farm, and for all this while it has been shut, but all the staff that work there have food to eat. They have water to drink, because it's a very self-sustaining property. And I think that it's a great lesson for all of us, for all brands out there, that we should all become, in our own way, and I know that it's a long way and it's a big step, but we should all start becoming sustainable businesses. We should all start becoming businesses that care about the environment, and not just say that we care about it. We should actually put in practices. Okay, so there's a question from Raka Roy. It says, do you think involving health workers 24/7 at affordable prices help travel and hospitality industry get back the trust in service? Absolutely. I think that a part of the SOP should be to have a doctor. Every hotel, every small or big hotel should have a doctor, not just a doctor on call, but should have an in-house doctor. And as a part of this SOP, there should be a few rooms earmarked, come what may, for that could actually turn into corona curing wards. Because I think it's very important that when someone's traveling, if I'm going to a hotel to stay, I want to know, suppose, God forbid, I get infected, I would want to get a speedy treatment. I don't want to be moving about and traveling around. I want to know that I'm safe. Or if my loved one is affected, I want to know that my loved one is safe. So I think, yes, not just having a health worker 24/7 in the property, but I think also earmarking a few rooms that could be easily converted into a ward to treat something like this is very important. And I think every hotel should do it, big or small. It doesn't take much, but it ensures that the person who's going to stay with you, that your guests are safe, and they have the confidence and the trust in your property, in your brand. When will the new commercial planning start, new normals? Well, I think that it's too soon to say new normal. Yes, I know that a lot of people are already talking about new normal, but having said that, there are so many people in the world who are dead, and so many more are affected, and the whole trauma of it, the whole trauma that the world is suffering from. I think that we are far from a new normal. I think that it's going to take a really long time to get to the new normal. And yes, it's important. Having said that, businesses cannot just close, and that's going to in turn affect the economy. That's going to affect people. You and me, we may not have jobs, and we may not have food to eat. Yes, industries must open, and I think that the most effective way of doing this is by communicating. I think, one, yes, you're putting SOPs in place, but you also have to very strongly communicate using social media. I think that's one of the best platforms to let your audience know, to let your target audience, your old customers, your potential customers know that you've put in these things in place, not just for travel and hospitality, but for everyone else. I think that you need to be very, very efficient in communication. This is the right time to communicate, to let people know that, yes, this too shall pass. It's going to take time. And we don't want to be insensitive and say that the new normal is around the corner. But yes, this too shall pass. And here is something that we are offering you. Maybe when you say commercial planning, I would say from hospitality perspective, if not price relaxation, at least relaxation in cancellation policies for hotels and travel companies. We could say, you know what, you can book right now, and you could come stay anytime. You don't have to decide your stay, and you just have to give us a notice of about 7 days before you come, so that we can plan your arrangement, so that we can check our inventory. These things, I think, go a long way. Or you could even tell them that we'll not charge you a cancellation policy if you cancel, because we understand that things are bad and things could get bad at any time. So I think that these are things that we should plan at a commercial level in order to attain new normals, which is still a really long time from now. Well, I think that we can wind up this session. It's been a really, really good session, and I would like to thank Turiya, the team of Turiya, as well as Sandhya for this amazing opportunity. Honestly, one of its kind for me to express my thoughts on the industry, on the pandemic. And I would also like to let all of you know that next Tuesday there's going to be a session by Mr. Jeevan Prakash Podar, who is a commerce graduate, and he's going to be talking about cyber law, and he's going to be talking about digital and social media marketing. There's going to be a breakout session on cyber security. I think that it's going to be a very interesting session, and they're going to have sessions on every Tuesday and Saturday. I think we should all be a part of it. We should get to learn something new. I see that there are a couple of more questions. What online strategies should hospitality industries come up with? And what safety, health and hygiene measures should be taken by amusement park administrations? Well, it's a little hard to answer the amusement park question, because I think that it's my personal belief that any destination or any business that is that needs to function with a lot of people being there should sort of keep themselves low key until the pandemic is completely over, because I think that there's a lot of risk for such businesses to be operating at that scale with so many people coming in, like Disneyland and all these places. I think that they should they should be low key. I won't say close it down, because a lot of people working there too, and their livelihood depends on it, but I would say keep yourself low key. Maybe they should limit themselves to a minimum number of people that they take in, and they should also check the temperatures. They should keep the parks absolutely sanitized, and they should have all the hygiene and safety measures put in place. And I think it's very important for them to not have too many people at a particular place, especially because children come in there. A lot of old people come in there too, and old people are more prone to this virus, as we all know. And I think I've already highlighted what online strategies hospitality industry should come up with. I think that the key is communication. Intimate communication is extremely important at this point. We should not be selling. We should not be talking about how much it costs to stay in this place or how much it costs to do this particular tour. I think that we should talk about destinations, we should talk about communities, we should talk about how to keep the environment safe, we should talk about secret recipes from heritage kitchens from regions in India. And I think that it's extremely important as a community, for India, from that perspective, that we should talk about India first. Yes, this pandemic has affected everyone in the world, but we should support local businesses more and more. We should go and stay in local hotels, in small hotels, in businesses, in hotels of 20, 30 rooms, even 15, 20 rooms for that matter. That also, I mean, that's good from two angles. One is that you're supporting an India first business, and second, you're also maintaining social distancing, because at a time you cannot have too many people there, as opposed to a 100-room property in, say, Singapore or Thailand. Well, I'm going to end this session now. Thank you very much, guys, for being a part of this, and really amazing questions that you all asked. And I hope to be a part of the future sessions by Turiya Communications. Again, thank you, Sandhya. Thank you, Turiya. And have a good night, everyone.